Hi, it's Janelle with Parsnips and Parsimony, and today is my 18-week pregnancy update video. This past week, I tell you, I feel like the baby has grown a ton. And when I was reading some of those pregnancy calendars and things online, they all said right around 18 weeks, the baby will go through a huge growth spurt. And let me tell you, I can feel it. I feel like I look pregnant. You can see that I'm pregnant. It's getting a little bit harder to move around now that I have something actually sticking out in front of me. I also can tell that the baby's grown because this week my round ligament pain has started in, and that usually coincides with a major growth spurt. So I'm trying to readjust to moving appropriately, hopefully not pulling those round ligaments any more than they are getting stretched, and keeping the pain at a minimum. Now, at the beginning of this week, I had some issues with back pain. Now, ever since I was pregnant with Peter, he was my third child, I have had a lot of experience with lower back pain. And throughout these last pregnancies, I've learned that a lot of that back pain is related to core strength. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with some core exercise that you can do with pregnancy, definitely look those up, do the research, because they have helped me tremendously with my back pain. But this was a different type of back pain. It was not my normal low back pain that just kind of was irritating and uncomfortable. This came on suddenly. So I was trying to relist all of my Mary Kay items, and Art had nicely laid out all the boxes for me on my bedroom floor. So I brought my computer in, and I was watching a YouTube video, and it was a 12-minute YouTube video, and I sat on the floor, and apparently I put my left leg underneath my right leg, and it was comfortable sitting that way. But as soon as that YouTube video was over and I stood up, I had this excruciating pain in my lower back. And where it was not in the center of my back, it was actually off to the side just a little bit. And I did some research about it, and it's called your SI joint, where your pelvis connects into your spine. There's a joint right here, and apparently that can get inflamed. Now, the reason it got inflamed is, first of all, you have a lot of pregnancy hormones running through your system trying to release and relax your ligaments and tendons and everything, so when you go to deliver, the baby can just come right out. The only bad thing is that can also cause some tenderness and some laxity in your joints. So when I sat on my leg, apparently instead of my pelvis sitting like this, I tilted it, and that messed up that SI joint with my spine. And that's why I felt that immediate pain, is because I had done something to the joint. I had stretched it wrong or moved it, and it started the inflammation process. I tried doing some strengthening, some stretching exercises, and Saturday night I didn't take any meds for it, but I did not sleep well at all because it was extremely painful. Sunday rolled around, I went to church, I sat for one service in the pew, and it just made the pain that much worse. I went back home and I spent an entire day in bed. Now, one of the things you have to understand about the body mechanics is that if you've only inflamed something, if you put that joint at rest, it's going to go away. And I didn't want it to become so inflamed that I couldn't get rid of this for the rest of the pregnancy. That would be absolutely torture. So I knew that if I rested it for a couple days, that it should go away. And by Monday I woke up, I could still feel it, but the pain was down from an 8 or 9 down to like a 2 or 3. I was being very careful not to lift the kids and make sure that I was sitting with good posture and trying to make sure I don't do anything to tilt my pelvis. By Tuesday, I woke up, no pain, nothing. So thankfully, most of that has disappeared. If I pick up like Mary for just a few minutes, I can actually feel it's starting to bother me again. So I'm trying to be really careful about not doing anything that's going to mess up that joint. The last thing I want is another 22 weeks of back pain. That is not a pleasant experience. So that was the big thing that happened this week. Other than that, I've been feeling fairly well. My blood pressure's been staying in the low to mid 90s, although it did hit a couple times. It was up into the hundreds. I take that as a good sign. It was very hot in our area, and I had quite a bit of swelling and water retention. On top of that, I was counseled, to eat more salt, eat more carbs, and help retain that water. Well, because I'm not used to eating that way, I retained so much water. It was swollen. I just didn't feel myself. So the last couple days I backed off from the carbs, still eating some, usually at one meal a day, but primarily focusing on a low carb, high fat diet again. And it seems like my weight has tapered down a little bit again, and I've gotten rid of a lot of that water weight, and I'm feeling better. So there's a little bit of this learning curve to eating what works for you, because I know what I eat probably doesn't work for everyone else, but what everybody else doesn't work for me. So I guess my takeaway point is, if you're pregnant, make sure you pay attention to what works for your body, because sometimes there's just little things, tweaking, little dietary things that could make all the difference in your pregnancy. Next week I have my midwife appointment, which I'm very excited about going to, because at that appointment I will get my script for my 20-week ultrasound, and I'm just super excited about seeing the baby. Now, I have had more movement this week, still not a lot, very faint, not like what I'm used to, but at least I'm feeling the baby somewhat consistently throughout the day, if I'm paying attention. Sleeping at night has seemed to disappear this week, which, being tired does not help me focus that much, but on the whole, I'm feeling pretty well. So let me give you a shot of my 18-week belly, and I think you're going to be able to see where it's grown a lot. I do feel like this time around I am carrying much higher than any of my other pregnancies. Last week I mentioned that I still could fit into my EMT uniform pants, and this past week I was still able to fit into them, although the belt no longer fits. But it seems like I'm carrying so much higher, and I think if you guys look at that belly picture, that it does look like I'm higher than any of my other pregnancies. Who knows what that means? I know there's a lot of old wives' tales out there saying, oh, it's a boy if you carry higher, or it's a girl you're carrying a lower. What do you guys think? And what are some of the things that you think, boy or girl? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching. As always, if you're new to our channel, welcome. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, where you can watch my entire pregnancy journey, and hopefully you'll end up with a successful home birth. And we'll see you for our next video. Bye.